That's what I wanted to say, because, you know, when you're making a film, you know, you're in the editing room, or it's your friend showing up with a camera, or can I come and interview you again? And it has a very intimate sort of feel to it. It feels like it's just the three of you or the four of you making this film. And then all of a sudden, it's out of the editing room, and it's being screened, and there's all these people that are watching it and commenting on you, you know, as this person in the film. And that's just such a shift from, but both are necessary, right? You have to, you need people to see films. You need people to see your films. So
it's got to go out into the world, but it is a tricky business. I mean, I think the underlying principle that I like to say to people and get people to understand is, as a filmmaker, you have power. And as soon as you have the camera in your hand, you have a certain kind of power that maybe your subjects don't in relationship to what you're involved in. And you have to pay attention to those power relationships. When we were talking earlier about, no, a famous person, I say ultimately it's our decision. An everyday person who has less power, it's like, I have to give them that power. We have to, it doesn't level the playing field completely, but it helps. And so, I mean, I've told the story before of the moment in Home for Life, my first film. I'm filming a scene with an old lady and her son and daughter-in-law putting away her laundry. And it's a brutal scene. It's 8 minutes of screen time. And all that's being talked about is laundry. And you're they seem to be treating her terribly. You know, it's just a very uncomfortable scene. But what actually happened was, in the middle of the scene, the old confused woman turns to the 23-year-old cameraman and says, I don't want to be in the movie anymore. It's too much. It's too hard. And the camera goes off. This is double system, so the tape recorder kept going. And you hear this 23-year-old kid explaining to this woman how her being in the movie is going to help other people. She's having a hard time adjusting to the home, but, you know, it's really good for everybody, and blah, 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 blah. And finally she's like, okay, I'll be in the movie. And the camera goes back on, and everything proceeds as if nothing had happened. And the point of that story is, at 23, I was like, great, I got it.
Right.
You know, and I went and I called Temner. He didn't have to be there on that shoot. We got it. We got the scene because we knew how important this scene was. Because it was about guilt and how people sometimes because they feel badly, they treat people guiltily. And it was just pure verité, all of that coming through. And at 23, I didn't really take responsibility for what I'd done. I didn't know what I had done. I had all the power. She probably thought I worked for the home, and she had none. And so once I understood that, it was like, okay, you always have to pay attention to that. And that, people sometimes think, oh, well, you know, why are you bringing this up? It's making everything so difficult. The truth of the matter is, one of the reasons that in our 50 years of filmmaking, we've had so little trouble with our subjects and with our, you know, is because we're always sensitive to that. We're paying attention to it and getting to it before it comes up in some very awkward situation in a way that it shouldn't.